July officially the hottest month ever recorded on Earth. The king to visit Sarawak and ride along Pan-Borneo Highway next month. And green skills rise to meet job market challenges. These are the headlines for tonight. I'm Hendy Gui and this is TVS Nightline. July was officially the hottest month ever recorded on Earth at around 1.5 degrees Celsius warmer than the average for the period 1850 to 1900. July's global average temperature of 16.95 degrees Celsius was a third of a degree Celsius higher than the previous record set in 2019. Scientists at the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service said on Tuesday, 2023 was the third warmest year ever, and that global average sea surface temperatures reached record highs in July. The record heat was fueled by man-made climate change, which contributed to the Antarctic sea ice extent reaching its lowest ever level for July. The temperature of oceans of the world also set new records, causing concerns regarding the effects it would have on marine life and coastal communities. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah will be visiting Sarawak next month. And Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof on his Facebook post said the King's itinerary will include a road trip along the Pan-Borneo Highway. Fadillah, accompanied by his delegation, were granted an audience by the King at Istana Negara on Monday, August 7th. On February 13, it was reported that the King expressed his desire to drive along the Pan-Borneo Highway in Sabah and Sarawak. He said he was pleased with the progress of the Pan-Borneo Highway project across both states, which commenced in 2015 and expected to be fully completed in 2024. In a decisive move, the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Chun Openg, has called on Sarawak Skills and ICAT University College to elevate their provisions of green skills courses. This initiative, aimed at enhancing competitiveness, is directed at nurturing graduates who possess not only traditional skills, but are also equipped to tackle environmental safety challenges and promote resource sustainability.
Sarawak sangat aktif dalam pembangunan teknologi hijau dan sumber tenaga alternatif yang boleh diperbaharui. Malah, Sarawak ini menjadi peneraju pembangunan ekosistem dan penjanaan hidrogen bukan saja di Malaysia, bahkan di rantau ASEAN.
Abang Johari also pointed out the continued determination of the Sarawak government to drive infrastructure development and investments, creating a conducive environment for economic growth and opening doors for both employment opportunities and business growth.
Modal insan harus fokus kepada penyediaan hala tuju sumber tenaga yang lebih produktif, efektif, berkemahiran, berteknologi dan bernilai tinggi yang akan menjurus kepada peningkatan pendapatan keluarga dan taraf hidup.
He highlighted the importance of workers cultivating greater flexibility, innovation and adaptability to effectively address the ever-evolving demands of employers. He said this in his speech at the 25th convocation ceremony of Sarawak Skills and ICATS University College held at the Borneo Convention Centre Kuching, BCCK, on Tuesday. During the ceremony, Abang Johari, who is also the Chancellor of ICATS University College, presented scrolls to 1,009 recipients of bachelor's degrees, diplomas and skills certificates.
Sarawak government will be introducing a bursary program with the aim of alleviating the financial burden on students pursuing higher educations at Institution of Higher Learning IPT within the state. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, revealed that this sponsorship program is designed to provide assistance to students before they commence their undergraduate studies in diverse fields at universities, whether within the country or abroad.
ICAT adalah satu-satu universiti yang dipunyai oleh Kerajaan Sarawak dan kita akan mengembangkan kemudahan ICAT supaya ia setanding dengan universiti lain di Malaysia.
Furthermore, Abang Johari disclosed that ICAT's University College is currently in the stages of establishing a new campus outfitted with the state-of-the-art technological resources aimed at enriching the overall teaching and learning environment.
Dan kita harap para graduan akan terus menjadi mereka yang mahir dalam applied science.
Previously, Abang Johari said that the state government has allocated over 200 million ringgit for the construction of the new campus near Kampung Trombol in Telaga Air. The new campus will accommodate both international and local students.
Now, Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg will lead a delegation to Norway soon in a bid to study the infrastructure and technology used for carbon storage. He added that Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros had been issued the license to serve as a resource manager for the state's natural carbon capture, utilization and storage CCUS resources, particularly in commercializing the development of stranded sour gas reserves offshore Sarawak.
Dan Petros dengan saya akan pergi ke Norway untuk melihat infrastruktur bagaimana kita menyimpankan kabut dan juga injection dia punya teknologi.
In January 2022, the Norwegian ambassador to Malaysia, Morten Paulsen, conveyed the Norwegian government's interest in implementing CCUS in Sarawak. On top of that, Abang Johari also mentioned that a subsidiary company of Samling Timber Malaysia, Sarah Carbon Sdn Berhad, has also been given a carbon license to study the potential of undertaking a carbon nature-based project in Marudi within Samling's industrial tree plantation area. Thus far, both companies remain the only carbon license holders. With Malaysia being the second largest producer of palm oil in the world, the palm oil industry needs to be a pillar in the country's agricultural sector in order to restore the country's economy. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof said the sector has the potential to provide job opportunities and at the same time contribute to the country's gross domestic product, GDP.
It is encouraging that we recognize the significant role played by the palm oil industry in reviving the post-pandemic economy, especially being the second largest palm oil producer globally.
The palm oil sector recorded increased revenue from 9.5 billion ringgit in the first quarter of 2022 to 10 billion ringgit in the first quarter of 2023, indicating a 5.6% upswing in the economy. As such, Fadila, who is also Minister of Plantation and Commodities, urges industry players to promote the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil MSPO certification scheme to be recognized at a global stage for the improvement of the palm oil industry, emphasizing on environmental protection, social responsibility, and economic progress.
The MSPO certification scheme was made mandatory since 1st January 2020. And with the revised version of MSPO 2.0, it is an important tool to be recognized by all palm oil industry players in advancing to a sustainable palm oil production. By embracing such sustainable practices, this will ensure the future competitiveness and acceptance of palm oil in the global market.
He said this in his speech after officiating the Palm Oil Milling Technology Exhibition and Conference, PalmTech 2023 in Miri. Organized by the Sarawak Oil Palm Plantation Owners Association, the exhibition aims to showcase cutting-edge solutions and state-of-the-art machinery designed to optimize palm oil milling operations. In a separate development, Fadila said, biomass plays a crucial role in the circular economy, from coconut, rubber trees, and woody biomass. He said the raw materials obtained from these products will provide added value for the agro-commodity sector, in addition to reducing waste, deforestation, and carbon emissions. Hence, the Plantation and Commodities Ministry is developing the 2022 to 2025 National Biomass Action Plan, covering 5 sectors comprising plantation, agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and forestry.
Systematic use and processing of agri-commodity biomass into products with commercial value will generate new income and transform the current linear economy in the industry to a circular economy that helps to reduce both deforestation and carbon emissions.
Elaborating further, Fadila said biomass products such as final residues of palm effluent, empty fruit bunches, decanter cake, and pressed palm coconut fiber can be utilized to produce new value-added products or alternative energy sources to generate production facilities by reducing, reusing, and recycling usually underused materials in the current linear economy. The 3rd edition of Sustainability and Renewable Energy Forum SAREF 3.0 will laser focus on connecting ASEAN via an interconnected grid, with the theme Regional Net Zero and Sustainable Communities, Renewable Energy Development and Interconnections. The biennial forum will convene industry leaders, policymakers, and experts from the global energy and sustainability sectors in Sarawak. Sarawak Energy Berhad SEB Senior Vice President Contract and Procurement Yusri Safri said the event will be held on 6 and 7 September at the Borneo Convention Centre, Kuching BCCK, and will be officiated by Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
Yeah, basically this will be more focusing on interconnections, how we connect ASEAN through an interconnected grid to help each other out, There's a lot of benefits for interconnections, and we will share that during the forum itself later.
He noted that the forum is expected to gather around 700 to 1,000 attendees from the world over, featuring Dame Christina Figueres, an influential leader and visionary in sustainability and climate action, and a key leader behind the Paris Agreement as its keynote speaker. SAREF 3.0 will also be focusing on regional net zero initiatives, as well as green energy development and solutions. Coming up right after the break, reviving Borneo's lost instrument. And in world news, China and the Philippines dispute over grounded warship heats up. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, Kampong Brajang's songket weaving industry needs the involvement of the youth to ensure it can continue to meet market demand. Kuala Rajang Assemblyman Datuk Len Talif Saleh said the Rajang songket is hot in demand due to its quality, thus making a mark in the nation's weaving industry.
Len Talif said he will discuss with Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg and the relevant agencies to find a way to ensure the survival and relevance of the Rajang's songket weaving industry.
Saya akan melihat bagaimana pendekatan yang terbaik supaya industri dapat berkembang dan dalam masa yang sama dapat meningkatkan lagi sosioekonomi mereka supaya kita dapat sama-sama menikmati industri tenunan ini dan juga budaya tenun yang sudah begitu lama bertapak di Kampung Rajang.
The Rajang songket is known for its uniqueness, differing from songket that are produced in the East Coast states on the peninsula, as it uses the hidden thread technique in its production process. The songket is sought after for its quality, pattern and unique identity, despite its hefty price tag of thousands of ringgit.
Since it was first introduced, the level of understanding towards the new policy of environmental sustainability in the carbon economy is at an encouraging level. Sarawak Forest Department Director Datuk Hamdan Mohammed said this is crucial as the implementation of the carbon trading industry could attract investment from foreign investors.
According to Hamdan, China, Singapore and the United Kingdom are among the countries interested in buying carbon from Sarawak.
Daripada orang luar pun ramai yang datang, daripada China, daripada United Kingdom, daripada Singapore. They are come to us actually. Dah nak cari pun sebenarnya nak carbon ni nak beli lah. But like I said, kita ni baru start. Kita pun tidak mau apa yang kita buat ni tidak mengikut standard atau. That is very important because this is a perdagangan antara country. You will be the country because it's carbon offsetting. You sell the carbon in Sarawak to the Singapore. Singapore will use this carbon because dia ada manufacturing, dia akan buat industri kan. Industri akan buat emission lah.
Hamdan said the Sarawak Forest Department thus far has issued a carbon study permit to a local company to carry out preliminary research on carbon storage. He added the carbon license applications are open to all, but would depend on the capacity study, which will be determined by the Sarawak government.
In recent years, the sape has become a jewel in the crown of Sarawak's cultural expression. Yet the varieties of sape remain largely unknown to modern audiences. Hence, according to Datuk Ose Murang, President of Friends of Sarawak Museum FOSM, these instruments are in danger of being lost forever.
We all know about the sape, isn't it? At some point before, in the early 80s or before that, very few people know about the different music that the sape can produce. And even more, women and girls were not even allowed to touch the sape before. The whole idea is when it was lost, it means the culture would have died away with it. Okay? Then one of our friend and colleague got an interest over the lockdown and come to be in contact with these lost instruments, not in Sarawak but in museum overseas.
He added that sape holds a special place in the cultural heritage of Borneo, and with the threat of the instrument being forgotten, an awakening interest in preserving indigenous culture has catalyzed a renewed enthusiasm for the sape's enchanting melodies. Thus, As part of FOSM's Sarawak Snapshots Museum Talk series, Borneo Boat Lute Revival BBLR, a collective of researchers, cultural practitioners and creatives from across Borneo Island will present their research on the traditional instruments of Borneo on August 20th, 2023. He said this during the Sarawak Snapshots Museum Talks at the Borneo Cultures Museum on Tuesday, August 8. He further said 5 representatives from BBLR will share about their work at the public sharing session with demonstrations by cultural practitioner Ezra Tekola, a renowned sape maker and musician in local band Art Adao, Hayri Hashim, who is focused on reviving the Iban Belikan, Raining Peter Paris, a Lunbawang musician and maker specializing in the tapi instrument, and Gindung MC Freddie Simon, a musician, researcher, and instrument maker leading the revival of the Sundatang lute in Sabah. Also presenting her research work is Catriona Maddox, a British-born artist who has been in Kuching since 2009. Those interested are encouraged to register for a place at www.tinyurl.com/lostlutes. Now, Cebu Marine Police Region 5 successfully foiled an attempt to smuggle subsidized diesel worth 259,000 ringgit at a private jetty in Sungai Batang, Igan. Cebu District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Zulkifli Suhaili said the seizure was made after a squad from the Cebu Marine Police Region 5 Intelligence Unit made its round for Operation Taring Pensura via patrol boat on location at 10:50 a.m.
Hasil pemeriksaan pihak kami di lokasi berkenaan menemui 2 buah kapal bersama muatan minyak diesel dan syaki tanpa lesen dan permit yang sah dari pihak Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Kos Sara Hidup.
He added, the police also arrested a local man in his 40s while he was in the midst of transferring the diesel from the 2 vessels.
Lelaki berkenaan juga gagal mengemukakan dokumen berkaitan diesel itu. Berkaitan itu, polis juga merampas 2 buah pam minyak serta 1 unit nozzle hose di mana nilai keseluruhan rampasan dianggarkan bernilai RM259,060.
The suspects and all seized items were handed over to KPDN for further action. The case is being investigated under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. Now on to some global affairs. Experiencing its most significant export decline in over 2 years, China faced challenges in July due to subdued global demand and a domestic economic slowdown in the world's second-largest economy. The data unveiled on Tuesday is expected to serve as a stark reminder for leaders to intensify efforts in revitalizing growth following a series of stimulus measures announced in recent weeks.
Chinese exports faced a substantial setback in July, plunging 14.5% compared to the previous year, marking the third consecutive decline. This decline, exceeding expectations, is the steepest drop since the pandemic's early stages in January-February of 2020. The exports have been consistently falling since October, mainly due to weakened global demand and concerns of recession in the US and Europe, exacerbated by inflation. June saw a 12.4% export decline. Imports, reflecting subdued domestic demand, also shrank for the ninth consecutive month in July by 12.4%. These trends indicate a slowdown in China's post-COVID recovery. Despite efforts like a 20-point consumption-boosting plan and interest rate cuts, challenges persist, with the economy growing by just 0.8% in April to June. Premier Li Qiang's cautionary note accompanies China's low growth target of about 5% for the year.
Now wrapping up the Nightline. China repeated its call for the Philippines to tow away a grounded warship from the World War II era, which is now used as a military outpost from a disputed shoal on Tuesday after Manila rejected Beijing's demands. Tensions have soared between the two neighbors over the South China Sea under Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., with Manila pivoting back to the United States, which supports the Southeast Asian nation in its maritime disputes with China.
The second Thomas Shoal, locally known as Ayungin, is home to a handful of troops living aboard the former warship Sierra Madre, which Manila grounded there in 1999 to reinforce its sovereignty claims. Manila has repeatedly accused the Chinese Coast Guard of impeding its ability to supply its troops there by blocking resupply missions, as it did on August 5th when it sprayed a Philippine vessel with a water cannon. The Philippine military described the actions of the Chinese Coast Guard as excessive and offensive. China said the incident was a warning and that it has exercised rational restraint at all times. The August 5th incident is the latest in a long list of complaints Manila has lodged against China, which also include a protest against Chinese Coast Guard's use of a laser against a ship supporting a resupply mission in February. Japan and France, through their embassies in Manila, have expressed concern over such actions and repeated their support for the 2016 arbitral ruling that invalidated Beijing's expansive South China Sea claims. The Chinese ambassador to the Philippines said during a meeting on Monday with a Philippine Foreign Affairs Undersecretary that China had no choice but to respond. China claims sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, which overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, Taiwan, and the Philippines.
And that's all the time for TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching and good night.